Have my dear friend with me, Bobby Jones. And Bobby, I remember last year y'all did something like this, feeding our law enforcement. But tell me why this is important to the Lawrence County Baptist Association.
It's important because all of our law enforcement keep us safe. They work hard to serve us. They put their life in jeopardy. They run into all kinds of situations, and so often they're not appreciated. And in the society in which we live today, in fact, people degrade the law enforcement. We just want them to know how much we appreciate them, how much we love them, how much we care for them, and any way we can serve them, we're willing to do that.
What volunteers? You probably didn't have to holler loud to get
No,
the
not
volunteers
really.
here.
No, not really. In fact, we probably had more that I had to tell. We really don't need any more volunteers. But one of the things that we're doing, we already started with the Dublin Police Department. Tim wanted me to be the chaplain for them, and my schedule's kind of crazy. So what we did is I head up a chaplaincy team of myself and 11 other people, and we serve on a rotation, on a weekly rotation. Wow. We do devotions, we pray for them, we go by and visit with them, we build relationships with them. We're entering into that same situation with the Sheriff's Department as well, and also with the Fire Department. And so we're just trying to serve any way we can for people that serve us.
Well, that's a new ministry. Is that working out good?
It really is. I didn't have to call very loud either to get our ministers and even ministers from other denominations to say, yeah, we want to do that.
Yeah. And you know, we're wearing the ribbons today, you see, and everybody around here, as you see the footage that we shoot, are wearing the blue ribbons in support of law enforcement. But now, Bobby, we know the majority of people support law enforcement.
That's exactly right.
You know, we see the videos that go viral, or the TV stations, networks sensationalize things. But, you know, it seems like every day we see a video of them condemning the law enforcement officer basically for protecting themselves because, you know, and I have a son in law enforcement. Their main objective is to come home every day.
That's exactly
and
right.
be with their families. And being a chaplain is so important because, and you know this doing it, and I know you can't talk specifics, but law enforcement has the same problems we do.
That's exactly right. And sometimes they just need somebody that they can talk to that will listen to them and keep it confidential.
Okay, and tell me about people watching. I want to say LBA, but it's Lawrence County Baptist Association, but I'll be saying LBA. But how many churches are involved in the association?
53.
53. And what's some of the things as a group of 53 churches? How many members you think that is?
Oh, gracious, I have no idea. Probably.
I asked you a tough one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You're talking about thousands. Yeah, and those that we know about and those we don't know about.
Right. That's right.
But one of the things we're doing this Sunday, we're asking all of our churches to wear the ribbons and, you know, at least in their service, appreciate and pray for all of our law enforcement and our firemen and all of that. And so that's really important that we pray for them and that we encourage them as well. So that's extremely important.
Yeah, the power of prayer, and I preach it every day. And people like us believe in we've seen miracles in our life. God answered prayers, and I pray for our law enforcement every day, along with our community. I know you do too, and we encourage anybody watching. It's so important to lift our law enforcement up in prayer, and I know y'all do a lot of mission trips also. What have you got planned this summer?
Oh, gracious, we are going to New York City. We're doing our first mission trip in Syracuse. We're working with a church plant. The North American Mission Board asked me to partner with them. And so it's a church plant in the middle of a very impoverished area. And they've got strip clubs all around them. They've got prostitutes that's working the streets. They've got homeless people everywhere, and that's who we're going to be ministering to. So it's going to be quite different for us. But we've got several trips out to the Navajo Indian Reservation. We got several trips down to Mexico to Chiapas where the Mayan Indians are. We've got trips overseas to the Philippines. We've got trips back to Bluefield. Last year we carried right at 1,000 backpacks to the kids there in the Appalachians, and this year we're going to carry at least probably 700.
You're doing all that this summer. Wow. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, and that takes a lot of work, don't it?
It does.
Preparation, time, commitment. And all this is through prayer. We go back to prayer.
That's exactly
You're not
right.
just saying we're going to go to New York. You have prayed about that.
That's exactly
as a
right.
group, and God's instructed you to go there. Share with me. You spoke at my church months ago, and one thing you said really touched me was about y'all went to an isolated place. They couldn't even speak the language, and planted a church, I believe. Would you share that story with our viewers?
That is in Mexico, down near the Guatemalan border. It's in Chiapas. But there's tribes down in the jungle, about 2 hours in the jungle, that we actually found that are still living the way they did hundreds of years ago. They carried us up to their ancient ceremonial ground. According to them, nobody that's not mine's never been there, and they carried us up there because they said there was something different about us that they just couldn't explain. And so it was amazing. We saw hundreds and hundreds of skeletons and bones where they did human sacrifices about 100 years ago. But we've been working with them. A lot of them have accepted Christ. Some of the chiefs have accepted Christ. And we've built a church down there, and God's just doing some amazing stuff. We have a missionary pastor that goes down there once a month to just carry the gospel, and we pay all of his expenses.
Man, what a phenomenal thing. I mean, just to be able to reach people like that that's never heard of Jesus Christ.
That's exactly right.
I mean, and people here, you know, we take for granted those things every day, you know, Americans, but then people are hungry for Christ.
That's exactly right.
In places like that.
Well, one of the things when we were meeting with some of the chiefs, the thing that really was amazing to me is we were sitting around with them, talking to them, and one of the guys, I mean, he had tears streaming down his face, and he said, you know what, we've served many gods, and we've heard about many gods, but this God that you're talking about, we know is real because I feel him inside, and I've never felt that inside of me.
Wow.
And that was amazing.
That is. And you just said a mouthful there because you know he lives. Because you feel it, you know him in your life. And I know you can, I can tell you the day I was saved, the song, the nail-scarred hand, you know, was playing. And that's how that impacts our lives.
Right.
It's not an emotional thing. You know, we get emotional when we talk about Christ, but it's not an emotional thing. God
It's
is
a relationship.
Moving. It is a personal relationship.
That's exactly
with Christ.
right.
Well, man, I can't thank you enough for what y'all do. I know you've shared just a little bit with us, and I know y'all feed so many people in the community, and that's another ministry.
Can I share one other thing really fast?
Absolutely, man.
Well, a new ministry we're starting. Jay Bailey is helping me with that, and Lewis Miller and a couple of other folks. But we're starting a new ministry called United Hope for Children. And what we're doing is we're partnering with DFACS because there's not enough foster parents in our county, and they've got way too many kids, and they're having to ship them all over the place and split families up. And so what we're doing is it launches in June, and what we're doing is we're going to start working with churches of all denominations, and we're going to try to find foster parents that will have kids in their home, and that way the kids will be able to be in church. They'll have the gospel before them. They'll have somebody that truly loves them and cares for them, and they'll be able to see Christ in their lives. But also, if you don't want to do that, there's other ways that you can just support those foster parents by helping them with. There are times maybe they need a babysitter, or maybe you can carry them a meal every now and then, or just help out as they are trying to foster those kids. So that's a new ministry we got coming up in June.
Wow. And somebody watching want their church to get involved, need information, how do they do that?
Just call the LBA at 478-272-0361, and we'll be glad to get them all the information they need. How to do that. There's even a website, and I can't remember what it is, but if they call, I'll give it to them. But there's a website where you can actually go on and sign up, and you can either sign up to be a foster parent, or you can sign up to just help other foster parents.
Yeah. What a great program. And seeking out and finding programs that help. And you touched on something that I want everybody to understand. Any denomination. Look, we all serve the same God.
That's
These
exactly
denominations, there's nothing biblical about none of that. You know, it don't matter if you're Baptist, Methodist, or whatever. we all got to work together.
That's exactly
to
right.
advance the kingdom of God.
That's exactly
and to,
right.
And to solve problems, just like you said. Well, that's wonderful, man. I'm glad. Please call the LBA. The number's right there on the screen. And for this program or any program, if you want to get involved, I know y'all take food donations and other things. Need volunteers. Probably don't have enough volunteers.
That's
ever,
exactly
do you?
right. Well, we just did a volunteer banquet. We have about 175 volunteers.
Wow.
But we always need more.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, always good to talk to you, and thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Appreciate it.
At Hangers Cleaners in Dublin, we really appreciate your business and strive for customer service and a better quality every single day. That's what we're here for. At Hangers Cleaners, we'll pick up and deliver right to your door, saving you time and money. Hangers Cleaners for all your fine linens, alterations, wedding gowns, leather, you name it, and we'll do it. Hangers Cleaners for your professional dry cleaning and laundry. Hangers Cleaners, the cleaner that cares. Hillcrest Parkway in Dublin. Now I have with me Brett Daniel, and Brett and I were talking over here. Brett, you went to West Orange High School, graduated in 2015.
Yeah.
Is that right? And this summer you were interning at the Curry Herald.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, first of all, tell me who your family is.
My mom is Connie Daniel. My dad is Bruce Daniel.
Okay. And, of course, your mama, all them years at the Curry Herald, did that play a little part of it, or you just walked in and got it yourself?
Well, she was an advertising consultant at the Courier Herald,
Right.
and I'm more or less aiming to be a reporter. It's
Right.
what I'm studying at Georgia Southern. And so it's not like I followed in her footsteps or anything.
That's right.
But you know, I'm definitely enjoying it there. So and I think her being at the Courier Herald and me growing up there may have had a role in it. Yeah.
Okay. I have with me Sheriff Larry Dean, and Larry, we're out here at State Patrol Office. The Lawrence County Baptist Association, as you know, is having a law enforcement appreciation dinner. And I know so many times in law enforcement, it's not good. You know, people always own you, bad things, you know, you're having to take care of. But how does it make you feel when this group of people honors you like this?
Well, it's been happening basically all month. We've been different places, people celebrating law enforcement, and we really appreciate the support. It gets discouraging at times, but when you see people like the Georgia Baptist Association reaching out, Lawrence County Baptist Association reaching out to the people, it just makes our guys feel good, and they really appreciate it. And me as the sheriff of this county, I just want to thank all the citizens of the county for reaching out to us, because, like I say, different culture nowadays, and we're trying to get people to back on law enforcement. We're a society without laws, we can't exist.
And I know during the campaign, you know, you look at things one way, and of course when you take office, a lot of times you look at it another way. And you know, I was thinking, we've been in one of the rooms here and with some of your investigators and deputies and all, but man, you got a wonderful staff. The camaraderie, the way they work together, the teamwork, you got to be proud of your people.
Yes, sir. That was one of my goals that I campaigned on, to building a relationship back, even with the citizens of the county, and building a relationship back amongst our investigative team, our road patrol, our warrant division. We all got to cooperate on it. Had an officer just tell me a situation right in there then. It's all from cooperation that we've been able to apprehend some of these people.
Yeah. And community, Sheriff, is so important. Y'all can't solve all this stuff by yourself. We got to be the eyes and the ears.
Right.
And I know you encourage the community to help there.
Right. And like I said, we've been dealing with our schools. We try to put officers in our schools. We've got resource officers out there, but I've actually had the deputies trying to, if they got a spare moment, go in that school out there, especially at lunch break and different times where there's a big crowd of students, where they can see you and show them we're a part of the community.
And we just had a story not long ago. I couldn't believe the views on our YouTube channel. Thousands of people watched when y'all had the manhunt overnight, you know, and you had called me and we had talked out at the sheriff department with one of your investigators. But it's amazing the cooperation when I watch and get there, and you got Department of Natural Resources, State Patrol, and Sheriff Deputy, Police Department. It seems like y'all all come together when you have a problem like that.
Yes, sir. And I kind of campaigned on that I had a relationship with different agencies in the state. And like I say, I actually knew that K-9 officer that was with the Department of Natural Resources. He had told me, said, "Hey man, if you need me, just call me." And I called him that morning, and he said, "Yeah, I can be there in 30 minutes." So he lived down here in McCray at the state park, and a combination of the Georgia State Patrol, our deputies, and the DNR, we was able to round that man up.
And it's amazing. And he lived right around Little Muggy State Park. You know, I talked to him that day, but it's great to know. It's one thing to campaign on it. It's another thing to put it into action.
Right. If you got people out there, and I was able to do that. Like I said, we actually went down here to Glenville for the law enforcement conference down there. Well, it wasn't a conference. It's just an ongoing dinner that they've been putting on for about 30 years. And I was amazed at the number of people that I knew. My staff was there say, well, Sheriff, you know a lot of people. I said, well, you know, and that's going to be a plus for Lawrence County by me having that relationship. And that's what it's all about, networking. We're trying to we've always worked closely with our adjoining counties, but with this mobile society we got nowadays, it's nothing like having a relationship with just about every sheriff in the state that you can get to know. Yeah. So it's been paying off for us.
Yeah, and whether it's Rusty Oxford or the Soper and police chief or whatever, these criminals cross county lines. I mean, we need to work together. And also, one we didn't mention, we've been in visiting with one of the ladies from the GBI, and I'll listen to you thank her about the trial that, you know, the sheriff that was killed over in Montgomery County, the good job they did. So it's good for you to be able to know these GBI agents one-on-one, and you can pick up the phone at 11 o'clock at night and say, hey, I need help. We got a problem here. So,
and we're able to do that. And actually, I had actually worked with the wife of the sheriff with DNR that got killed down at Montgomery County. But it's just great that the law enforcement community will come together and solve those kind of crimes.
Okay, I know you don't get a lot of thank yous, but I want to thank you for what you're doing and what you do for our community, Sheriff.
Well, I'd like to thank you, and I'd also like to thank Lawrence County citizens for allowing me to be their sheriff. And like I said, I still have an open door policy. A lot of people, I still want to emphasize this. I campaigned on that I was going to keep that cell phone number that I started out with, but eventually I'm going to have to change it over to the sheriff's phone. Yeah. And if you want to contact me, and a lot of people say, Sheriff, I emailed you. Well, I get emails from Georgia Surf Association and National Crime Center. I was getting 70 and 80 a day, so I'll tell you again, if you hadn't talked to me in person on the phone, you hadn't talked to me. I'm trying to answer as many emails as I can, but as the sheriff of the county, you still 272-1522, ask for somebody, take a message, I will get back with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many people on your team, I want to emphasize again, that can help. Like I called you this morning, you in a meeting.
Right.
You called me back.
Right.
Or if you're in a meeting, you got other officers. You know, I could start calling names, but you got so many capable officers that can help. And then you're the sheriff, and you're going to be involved in it. So call the Lawrence County Sheriff Department. Call, and like I said, if you can't get Larry, there's a lot goes with sheriff. You found out, I know.
Yes, sir. But, and like I say, emergency, call 911. Just general information, questions, you need an investigator or want to just talk to somebody, 272-1522. We'll get you in touch with the right person to handle your problem.
I've worked in kitchens, bars, and I saw a lot of bad decisions and good decisions, and decided that I was ready to do it. And I wanted to go out on my own and see if I could, you know, open a successful restaurant. There's definitely a Southern and definitely a Louisiana influence to it. I mean, I grew up in Louisiana, and I picked up the things in the kitchens that I worked in, or the restaurants that I worked in, and I used those things that I like the best. We're committed to using all natural, no hormone, no antibiotic, proteins, flours, any of our mixes, creating a better flavor profile in the food.
Being a new space in such a unique place in downtown Dublin, we had a great opportunity to really define the space and make it unique to what Rich's vision was. We were able to also provide a credit facility that allowed them to buy the equipment that they needed specific to this restaurant, and then also provide some operating capital to get them through the first year of operation. We're learning from Rich and Colby as much as they are receiving help from us, so we look at it as a partnership.
I essentially went into Kelly's office and said, hey, I got this idea. We just went through the financing process. They took a chance on me and gave me an opportunity, and we're still working with them. And Morris Bank's probably the best bank that I've dealt with. They know your name, they know what you're coming in for, and it's easy. It's easy to do business with them. If you have a good plan and you're goal-oriented and you can manage the process and you learn how to do that, ultimately you'll be successful. The future's good. We keep managing the process that we have and doing what we're doing now. The possibilities are endless.